this, give us a sign, turn your video off just for the screenshot here. So I want to give you that option, and that's totally okay, and we'll sort of crop it out. But for now, let's do it in a 3, 2, 1. We'll do a couple of them. We'll have a little bit of fun. The first one we can do is a smiling one. Okay, this one is for grandma, right? Nice.
I start recorded by mistake, by the way. I started to record.
Great.
Okay.
So let's.
I don't know how to make someone else who has a laptop to record it. I don't know how to do that. So let's see how it will show after that.
Okay. Great. Are Gadir, you're okay if I take a screenshot?
Yes, sure.
Great. Okay.
If everybody.
So let's do it sort of like, if you're uncomfortable, cover your screen. That's chill. I won't ask any question. If not, give me a nice smile. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you heard the little sort of graphic sound there. That's great. Okay, this next one we'll do. I want us all to look like a majestic. What does majestic mean to you? You can look serious. You can look, just very strong. Just pick something for majestic. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Crazy.
And I love this suggestion. Finally a fun one, or if you want to interpret the term crazy from Gadir, but what I would say is, that's a very loaded term for me. So I would say, let's go with just something a little bit fun or kooky. All right, 3, 2, 1. This will be the last one. Perfect. And I'll get you to come back onto your video, and I'll pass things back to Gadir. Thank you so much. Assalam. I'm looking forward to this.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you, everybody. So let's start, and whoever will join us later will join us. I would encourage everybody, as I said from the beginning, to turn on their cameras for better interaction. And I'm recording this video. This video is recorded, as I mentioned in my social media when I announced for this event. I would like, someone is coming, Asim Hussein. He's one of the writers of the book. Welcome, Asim. We have, Wendy. We said, welcome, Wendy. We said, welcome, Hanan Welzer. We have Hanan Welzer and we have Hanan Hazim. Hanan Welzer, you were ABCD before, I think. Okay, sorry. Okay, and we have Tamara Abed Ghazi. Welcome, Abed Ghazi. Welcome, Asim Hussein. I would encourage everybody to turn on their cameras for better interaction. Now I would like to welcome everybody in Kahwa Art Cafe. Who's new here for Kahwa Art Cafe? Please raise your hands. Okay, so lots of people here are new. Okay, in Kahwa Art Cafe, I host monthly events, poetry nights. Mainly it's open mic. It's multicultural, multilingual. People can read in any language with English translation. And I also give them theme for every poetry night, and they can read about that theme or anything they like. So people read in the past in Spanish, French, Irish, Chinese, Tagalog, Persian, Turkish, Arabic, African languages, Urdu, Punjabi, and they give translation in English or summary if they are having a barrier to the language, to the English language. Why I would like people to share by their by other languages, because like me, I prefer to share with my mother language, my mother tongue. And also some people, they have barrier to the language, to the English language. Now, for the open mic, we will talk later about the theme. Let's start with the, first of all, everyone is familiar here with Zoom. Are you familiar with Zoom? Yes? No? Okay. There is an icon in Zoom about, which is raise hand. Okay. So it's better because I might not see you. It will show, if you press that icon, it will show on my screen that you are raising your hand. So there is a tool, the 3 dots. You just press it and you can find the raise hand. Everyone is familiar with the raise hand tool? Yes? Abed, Tamara, Hanan, Omar, Saba, Wendy, Hanan 2, Joanna, Shamima, Leila. We have 2 Hanans. Kitty, Carolina, Shireen, Lionel, Akil, Christina, Kautar. All of you familiar?
And so,
Yes?
yeah, and
Okay.
it might be helpful for the folks who don't want to sort of, if they don't know, but they're a little nervous about saying it, if you give a very brief explanation that, yeah, when you click the raise hand button, Gadir, you can see it as the host.
Okay. So you want me to
A
again?
brief explanation. I want to say, let's say I'm the person. I don't know what the raised hand
Okay.
does. Yeah.
You can raise physically, you mean, instead of the tool? Okay, either
If
or.
that works
Either
for you,
or.
great.
But
Yeah.
the better for me is the tool. If you don't know how to do it, just raise your hand. Okay. Okay. And again, I will announce it again that it's better, and I would encourage everyone to turn on their cameras for better interaction and to have real name there, real names. And okay, let's go with the land acknowledgement. Land acknowledgement. In Toronto, we acknowledge that we are on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, Chippewa, Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat nations. We are mindful of a broken covenants and the need for each of us as individuals and as a society to strive to respectfully renew our relationship with Indigenous people. Today, we will respect their culture, spirituality, history, and the stewardship of this land. Thank you for listening. Now, let's go for the, what is it? Oh, the Muslim Writers Collective, Muslim American Writers at Home Anthology, introduction and brief by Hanan Hazim. Hanan, if you can just please brief for us about the journey or the whatever you would like to share about this book, about the writers, the editors, the journey of publishing this book, and published by whom, which organization, whatever you would like to share about this book.
Thanks, my dear. So I'm Hanan. So I'm one of the co-editors. Here's the book. Oh, it's like disappearing, but here it is. So the other, this is not working. It's disappearing. I'm becoming invisible. Okay, Akil has it up for me. So I just, so I'm Hanan, and then Kitty is also on the screen. She's waving at you all. So Kitty's the other editor, and Valerie is, I don't think she's with us tonight, but she is the kind of mother of the book. And then Kitty and I are the helpers, and also Akil was one of the helpers. But so this book was essentially, it was Valerie's baby. It was her idea, and she brought us on to co-edit. So Kitty and I were co-editing, and Akil did, of course, all of the design. So it's a great book. If you have it, if you held it in your hands. So it was designed by Akil. And Freedom Voices is the publisher. Again, thanks to Kitty. So Kitty works for Freedom Voices, and she made this happen. She put a lot of work into getting this book out, getting it published. So we've been working on this book since 2018. And I called it a labor of love because there was a lot of labor. There was a lot of labor put into the book, a lot of hard work. And we all just did it because we believe in the book. We believe in having this book out, having it in the world, having people read it. We're so happy to work on this with Valerie and Kitty. I will say we had a lot of obstacles that came up along the way, so it wasn't like a very easy journey. Some of us had some health issues that we had to deal with while editing the anthology. And then just kind of when we gained momentum, the pandemic hit, which was also an obstacle. But we
couple
made
of people
it
have
in a
shown the
year,
book.
and this is not how I imagined our launches would be, because I know we've had several launches happening online. I thought we would all get to kind of maybe meet in person, or that we'd, be hopping on planes and like going to each other's cities and getting to meet each other. And inshallah, I hope that will happen. I hope that we will get to meet each other and have a post-COVID launch where it's in person and we get to all be in the same room and share a meal together and read. But I'm happy to be here with you online. Maybe if Katie, if you want to maybe talk about more of the Freedom Voices side of things. I'm more like on the behind the scenes co-editing side, but Kitty knows more about the actual publishing side. And
sure, thanks, Hanan. So good to see everybody. There's a couple of the contributors that I'm getting to see your face for the first time. It's very fun. Yeah, so the most important thing to know, Freedom Voices started out of the inner city in San Francisco with the mission to publish works that speak to and from communities on the margins. So it's a nonprofit, it's a collective structure that is like sort of a wild ride to be part of. And yeah, we published a lot of materials from Native American poets and stuff from the homeless community or unhoused community, I should say. The most recent book was Mujeres Mágicas. Do you say it Mágicas? Yeah, I think it's Mágicas in Spanish. It's domestic workers writing. So that's the kind of communities that we have, some of them. Published a lot of materials from Latin America over the years. Anyhow, Valerie and I met in an online writing class, in a therapeutic writing class, and she proposed this idea, and it was, a really dark time when she proposed it, and it just seemed like a really great way to start to address some of the stuff that's so painful to watch, to be around, to just to have some way to participate and help with the understanding and building peaceful coexistence, just to be offered a way to do that felt like a real a wonderful thing. So there's a lot of stuff that I've done for Freedom Voices. I've mostly just helped edit books, but this was a whole other level learning process for me, and for publishing a book that's we're trying to get it out in 2 different countries. We've never done that before. Anyway, it's just been an interesting process with lots of newness all along the way. And yeah, just learning to, to trust in whatever's brought us here and is carrying us on this really beautiful wave that's creating a lot of, it's creating a lot of understanding. And I pray for it to do that in a really big way.
thank you, Katie. I want to say, Ghadir, thank you so much for organizing this launch. And it's so lovely to see everyone's face. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to add. If anyone has questions for us, we're here. You can pop it into the chat, but maybe we'll just get started with whatever Ghadir had planned for us.
Okay, I will just read what is there in the about American writers, Muslim American writers at home. Is an anthology comprised of stories, essays, and poems about identity, diversity, and belonging from North American writers who self-identify as Muslims. Edited by Valerie, Beheri, Katie Costello, and Hanan Hazim. This timely collection allows us to hear firsthand the amazingly diverse voices of North American Muslim writers speaking for themselves. Stereotypes are overturned on every page, shaped by an impressive interweave of cultures, languages, and ethnicities. These writers reflect on what it means to find home, especially when prejudices and distortions abound, and how powerful it can be to feel heard, recognized, welcomed. They share their family, lore, spiritual journeys, childhood dreams, memories of homes they left. They offer prayers for our world. They show us how sorry, astonishingly vast and varied Muslim American identity and experiences really are from Micmac Muslims to Muslims whose ancestors came on the Mayflower, from Indian Americans to American Indians, from Tunisian Canadians to Puerto Ricans, to Palestinians to Irish American Muslims inspired to convert by reading Malcolm X and more. Okay, in this show us of unique voices, there is a unity, whether Muslim born or a convert, immigrant or North America born, a seasoned elder or a budding young poet. Each writer invites us to fall in love with their humanities. Thank you for listening. And yes, I would like to ask everybody, please, 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 we beg you, please mute, all of you mute, except the speaker. So we don't want to hear the noise, the background noise. And I would like to welcome West Wind. I don't know if she connected or not.
Oh, yes.
West Wind.
Yes,
hi, how are you?
I finally got in. Yes.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I would encourage everybody to turn on their cameras, please. Welcome Abid, I think we welcomed you before. Noam, Ambata, welcome. Please try to turn on your camera for better interaction. And if you have, if you want to read, just raise your hand, or there is a tool in Zoom to raise your hand to read. And also please, all of you mute except the speaker so we don't hear the background noise. And for the one who would like to start reading, I have some questions for them to introduce themselves. And who would like to start? Sabayo is smiling.
Why don't you start us off, Ghadir, with your poem?
I am the last. Last but not least. Oh, we have Saba, we have who else? I think, yeah, Saba. Okay, Saba. Please, Saba, I would like to...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, to say your name. Yeah, there is a background noise. Okay, please introduce yourself, say your name. Where are you from? Where do you live? When did you start writing? What inspires you to write? And in which page in the book is your poem? Or if you can share it in the shared screen, as you like. So, yeah, please, if you can. I will remind you with the questions. I know there are a lot of questions. Your name? Saba.
Ghadir, can you type them in the chat?
Okay. So it's easier for you to see them.
Sorry, a little bit of technical. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulty. I ended up at my parents' house, so I'm not in my normal setup. So let's see. Can you tell me the first question?
Your name?
My name is Saba Ghazi Amin, and I'm joining you from Chicago. I live between New York and Chicago. And the next question?
Okay. Where are you from?
My parents moved from India in the late 1960s to pursue higher education. My dad was doing his PhD at Harvard, and I was born there 50 years ago. So originally from India, but lived all over America.
Okay. So what you said, well, okay. What inspires, when did you start to write?
Well, I'm a visual artist. I'm a designer, and I was terrified of writing, terrified. And then a couple of years ago, my eldest child went away to college, and I had some time. And all of a sudden, writing just kind of happened. And I started writing some poetry, and one of my friends encouraged me to go to an open mic in New York. And it was just such a welcoming community and so encouraging that from there, I didn't stop writing. So it's been about 2 years that I've started writing. Never wrote before that. I was too scared.
Wow. Okay. And what inspires you to write?
What inspired me to write? Well, I think,
Yeah.
I was so busy raising kids. I have 3 children, and having that open space with one child kind of moving on and being happy. I had space. So I guess the inspiration was just finally having time to kind of put my thoughts together. That's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
Okay. In which page in the book is your poem or your writing?
That, my darling, I don't know because I don't have the book with me, but I have a short story, a true short story about my childhood. And I have a poem. I was invited at Princeton to come do a poem on the Milad of the Prophet. And I was thinking like, how do we get to really know who Prophet Muhammad was? And for me, it's his interactions with the women in his life. So the poem is called Constellations, and it's about all the women in his life and kind of who they were and how he interacted with them. So that's my second piece. And then the third piece, my parents are from India. So I grew up hearing a lot about colonialism. So it's a piece called Bold Brew, a little bit about colonialism in India. So those were the 3 pieces I had in there in the book.
Okay, so Hanan wrote it there in the chat. It's Constellations on page 220. Who has the book? You can look at page 220. And if you have it, you can share it in the screen if you have it handy in the laptop or the cell phone.
I'm on my phone, so I wouldn't be able to,
okay.
But not technically set up here. So would you want me to read from there, or I have a kind of, if for Women's History, I have a female empowerment spoken word that I do. Could I do that? Or would you like it from the book? Tell me. Whatever
Again,
you prefer.
what is that?
Oh, I have a piece that a spoken word piece, which is about women's empowerment. It was the first piece I actually wrote. And since this is kind of a Women's History Month, should I start with that?
Go with it.
Okay, guys. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up because, as I said, I'm 50.
Okay, go.
Well, yeah. Well,
so I just want to remind you. Can you please put your hand down? It's sticking there in the screen. If you can put it down.
Oh, that's lovely. Yes. Oh, hold on. Yeah. So I'm since I am 50, my memory isn't great. I pulled it up in case I forget.
No, it's okay. Women
so,
are
like
always
I said,
beautiful. Yeah.
So like I told you guys, I was never really a writer, and I went to this talk on Rumi. Never really understood Rumi either. My sister is a Sufi sheikha, but I just didn't get it. But at this talk, it was really exciting and interesting, and they talked about humans being a vessel, and about how women, it's a feminine quality, this divine vessel, and how anything can flow in and take our shape. And I was like, oh man, that's empowering. So the piece I'm going to share is called Clay Vessel. And it was from that talk that I kind of got inspired. Okay. I'm a vessel, baby. Rumi and the Sufis told me so. Divine, feminine, my makeup. Throbbing vitality, I glow. I'm a raw and earthy creation, wrought from wet, red clay. Intoxicating, illuminating, ether-infused sensual play. Yeah, I'm Earth Mother, baby. I'm tender, nurturing, and fierce. I'm sweet, smooth, honey dripping. I'm empathetic, salty tears. Manhood may be a path to patriarchy, but your might doesn't scare me much. Go ahead, raise your voice. I'll consecrate it with my immaculate touch. I'm an enveloping, encompassing womb. I'm mother, daughter, sister. I'm that unconditional love called Rahma. I'm persister and I'm resistor. Long before the steps of Abraham trod over my green grassy treads, I nourished and nurtured this earth. It's my sowing of seeds that let them spread. So fill my vessel, baby. Flow in and take my shape. I'll veil your imperfections. I'll cover you with my Supergirl cape. Yeah, I'm bliss. I'm heaven. I'm the mihrab that you turn to face. So pray, reflect, and honor the imminent balancing race. That's it.
Wow. So amazing. Thank you for sharing. It's inspiring us a lot with the Mother Earth. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Do you want me to wait till after everybody goes, or do you want me to share one of the pieces from the book?
Yeah, share someone from your book. Yeah.
Okay, so you choose, Leah. Then I've either got the short story, or I could be part of it, or I could do the one about the women in the prophet's life. You choose, because I don't know.
Women's in the prophet life is poetry, or
Yeah, poetry, and then I have
okay,
a short.
let's go with this one.
The poetry, okay. So again, this poem is called Constellations. And my family comes from the family of the Ansar, who were the people that welcomed the prophet in Medina. And that's where we descend from. So I kind of open it up with that. I have to read this one because I don't have it memorized. And I've got to put glasses, guys. Age 50.
Come on.
I'm a happy 50.
Doing great.
I embrace my age. Okay. Daughter of Ansar, Yathrib's blood courses through my veins, pumping through my heart chambers, echoing my beloved Mustafa's name. Prophet to the people, mercy to the worlds, guide to the revelations, soother of searching souls. Thousands of years may separate us. The light of your spirit shines on in the constellations of the Sahabiyat stories, illuminating your presence in this world and beyond. I look to the mothers of believers, the dauntless daughters and sisters of our souls, the steadfast and loving women who made sure your message was told. And so, by the sky that is raised above us, I send blessings on Baraka, your second mother. Excited, she ecstatically exclaimed, "Dear Amina, your baby is a blessing who will light these desert mounts in glorious wonder." Blessings upon blessings, Baraka was a constant on your voyage, steadfast through trials and tribulations. She was among the first to embrace your message. And by the mountains that are set firmly, I send my love to Khadija, your beloved partner. Older, yet unfazed, she proposed to you upon witnessing your brilliance and pure honor. Shaking when the revelation was squeezed from you, Khadija comforted you in the sanctuary of her embrace. Even as you doubted your purpose, she stood solid with confidence and grace. She knew the divine could never abandon you. After all, you're a Sadiq and Alamin. She knew your search for the pure truth would lead you to the path of a righteous deen. And by the thunder that declares Allah's glory, may dear Aisha be showered in light. Feisty, brilliant, and loving, she was the one who was your greatest delight. Outrunning you in races of humor and wit, adoringly sipping water from the very same glass. She asked, "Rasul, how much do you love me?" He smiled, like a binding knot that will always last. Known for her intelligence, integrity, and grit, you made her your greatest trustee. Declaring half the faith rests with Aisha, she reported over 2,000 of your hadiths. And by the thunder that declares the divine's glory, I send peace to your brave Salama. Immigrating twice, weathering perilous journeys, fighting battles beside you for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like you, she was known for speaking beautiful language, expressed with pure clarity. A scholar, a feminist, an orator, Salma made sure women were treated equally. She asked why the Quran didn't mention women, then heard you reciting a revelation soon after, stating there's no favor among the sexes. Devotion to Allah is the only elevating factor. By the olives, date palms, and grapes that grow, upon sweet Safiya I send dhikr and prayer. A Jew who surrendered her soul to Islam, taking you as her husband and protector. The beauty of the revelation made her weep. Focused, she studied and learned jurisprudence, defending women and the voiceless from anyone who tried to misconstrue it. And by the earth that is spread across the horizon, prayers for Fatima, your devoted daughter. A face like yours, shining bright as the moon, she modeled a simple life, just like her father. She cried in elation, accepting your message, stood ready to be your human shield, shoving away anyone who tried to hurt you, nursing your wounds on the front lines of the battlefield. As you lay on your deathbed and whispered to her, she sobbed when you said it was your time, then smiled when you told her the news that she would be joining in a very short time. By the Quran and all that is beautiful, I looked to my sisters who knew my Rasul. Women with qualities and attributes he admired showed me what he held dear and true. My love for the Prophet runs deep, the best of Allah's creation, balanced, loving, playful, devoted, a source for the Ummah's admiration. My Rasul glowed like the moon, my Nabi shone like the sun, and Ansar, my heart will always harbor him upon the hour its final beating is done. I don't hear the sound.
Because I was afraid.
I didn't hear the
there's
sound. Is the sound there?
Yeah. You
Oh,
cannot
I couldn't hear
it?
it, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I muted myself because I was afraid that there will be noise from my side. I want to listen carefully to it. It's speechless. It's wow, mashallah. Like I felt, it's very soothing. Like you let me go to other world, to other earth, to other place. I don't know. You took me to the next level. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much sharing this beautiful piece about Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his wives and sahabiyat in his life. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Sabah.
Thank you for that.
Sabah. Yeah. Are you looking for a feedback? Sorry, I forgot about your spoken word feedback. So are you looking for a feedback for this one and the previous one?
Not really, because it's
Not
written,
really?
it's done. But if you, yeah, it's done.
And the spoken word, like the one which was before this one.
I mean, feedback on like, I mean, yeah, if anybody wants to say anything, yeah, sure.
You want, okay, you are looking for feedback.
Sure, why not? I'm here. You choose. You're hosting this. It's your show. I'm happy to for
Okay,
anyone.
let's have some comments from others if they want to share. If you want to give feedback for the spoken word about the Women's History Month, or the other one about Prophet Muhammad and his wives, which was written in the book Muslim American Writers at Home, whether any pieces, whether any one of them that you would like to comment or give a feedback, please, your feedback should be positive, supportive, no criticism, no critical, no, I mean, judging, friendly, say the strong things that you heard about this piece, the strong things, the things that you still remember and what stays with you.
Oh, if you had told that me from the beginning, I would say yes. Is all positive? Yes, please. I thought you meant, do I want to critique? And I'm like, I don't know if I want to critique. Positive, sure. Hey, bring it on.
No.
Positivity is my friend.
Yeah, no critique.
Okay.
Anyone who would
I
like
typed
to
it in the chat. I typed it in
You
the
put it in
chat,
the chat.
Sabah. But,
Thank you. Thank you.
But
I
I'll
see.
repeat it. I thought your performance was so astounding. Like I loved it. I loved the pacing, your voice. You really transported us, like Gadir said. You know, I think that it was really special. I don't think I would have had the same experience reading your words. The words are beautiful, but having you say them like that was really transformative. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Anyone would like to give a feedback?
I'll add a quick comment. Thank you so much, Sabah, and I just want to echo what Gadir said about it being soothing with the rhymes. It's just very satisfying to hear you speak it out loud that way. So I just wanted to echo that. I know other folks, I think, just sometimes feel that if they have something just positive to say, you know, maybe it's not worth saying. That's the vibe I get from everyone. You know, that I think we all very much appreciated it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And also I wanted to tell you, I'm a designer too. I'm a graphic designer. So designers in the house, designers in the house.
All right.
Okay. Sabah, Okay, and let's ask someone else to read from the book, from the writers who would like to share. Shamima, go Shamima, go. So nice. Cheering for you.
Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone. I thought I'd go early in the night. So my name is Shamima Khan, and like Akil, I'm here on unceded Algonquin Anishinaabe territory, known as Ottawa. And I started writing as a child. I think my first piece was published maybe when I was 6 years old. And the reason I write is that writing lets me kind of explode out from the confines of my skin and just really connect with other people, connect with the universe. I found that being who I am, a woman, a minority, a hijabi, sometimes I found that people made instant judgments and assessments about me and interacted with me accordingly. So I really loved being able to write, and through my writing show, aspects of my true self, unencumbered by my appearance. And I feel compelled to write. When I was younger, I felt really compelled. I think the worst part is that I was part of the first kind of internet generation. So instead of writing my teenage ramblings in a diary, I put them online. And I find that I write when I feel it most strongly. And I kind of continue with my writing because of community. I really love Ottawa. I recently bought a home here, so I'm an official homeowner and put down roots. And I love Ottawa. I think there's maybe an idea that it's boring, but actually there's a really vibrant arts community. And specifically kind of coming back to writing again, it's brought me in touch with the passion, the desire, and the beauty of our city. I participated in poetry slams, fashion shows. I've been asked to perform my poetry at everything from anti-war protests to conferences on aging. And I think people need poetry. We're here for such a short time that I want to create something beautiful. And yeah, I have made so many friends and a really kind of chosen family through my writing. So Gadir, I hope that kind of answers most of your questions.
Did you say when did you start writing?
When I was a child. So like, I think my first piece was published when I was 6. I grew up in the Middle East, in Bahrain. So there was a children's magazine, and then a youth magazine, and then a magazine for a creative writing magazine in the Gulf, in the Arabian Gulf. It came with the newspapers. So I started publishing my work there. And then I came to Canada and started publishing here, kind of published at the CBC. And yeah, it's been a really exciting journey. And now I'm published here. So I'm really excited about that. So this is a total masterpiece. So many incredible, talented, creative people here. And I feel honored that 2 of my poems were chosen. So I will read one of them. The book is still kind of new and surreal to me, so I don't have anything memorized. My first poem is on page 140, and it's called Another Form of Prayer. And it's a pretty short piece.
Can you share it in the screen if you have it?
Oh, yes. I did try to find a PDF, so let me see if I can do that. I use a different software at work, so I don't even know how to share my screen here.
It's okay, fine. It's okay. We'll see your performance.
Oh, I got it. Okay, it's saying that the host has disabled screen sharing.
Oh, really? Did I do that?
You might have.
Oh, how can I do? Okay, I don't know how to turn it on.
I think it's the default. The default is that it's off screen sharing, and then you've got to go into the settings and turn it on.
Oh.
If you're on a computer, the upper left, and change the preferences.
Or you can make her a co-host.
Security.
You can make her a co-host.
Button at the bottom that says security, that might work too.
Security. Oh yeah, security. Then share screen, turn on. Okay, I allowed participants. Okay, thank you. Your no, thank you for the hint. Okay, share
Wow,
now.
look at that. It's sharing in action. Okay, is this working? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So another form of prayer. You walk in silence in the company of a chipmunk or a robin and stop to admire the view in October, the lone maple at the edge of the parking lot, a tree of red stars, ridiculously beautiful. The world is strange and lovely and painful. People don't like talking about the pain, though, about being alone, the problems before us, death, and what comes after that. Let's see if this works. Somehow, with each step you take, you feel closer to God. How can you not think of the Almighty while you're in the midst of His bounty, His creation, the leaves rustling on the sidewalk, the smell of green around you, the steady ground beneath your feet, the air filled with birdsong? And as you stop to tie your errant shoelace, you realize walking is a form of prayer. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. It's nice and soothing also. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, walking is praying. Oh my God. Mindful walking. Thank you so much, Shamima. We'll open the floor for. Do you ask for a feedback?
Sure. If
Okay.
anybody wants to give me feedback.
Yeah, please. If anyone can give a feedback, supportive, encouraging feedback.
I forgot, how do you raise your hand on here?
Okay, you can speak without raising hand. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Shamima, mashallah, that brought tears to my eyes. I'm trying not to cry right now. Beautiful. Can you tell me again what page that one's on?
It's on page 140.
Thank you.
Okay, I saw also Christina. She raised her hand. Yes, Christina.
I just really loved it. I thought it was a gorgeous piece. Like it felt like a big hug that I needed today. Thank you so much, sweetie. I really love. I'm really new to this group. I've been invited by a friend, so I'm so happy to be here tonight to hear everyone read and to learn. So thank you so much for sharing. That was gorgeous.
I invited her. I'm her friend.
Wow, you guys, I'm gonna start crying. That's such really kind words in the chat, and I'm melting. So Gadir, I had a few other poems, but did you want me to wait until the open mic portion to say them, or because we have quite a few people, right?
Yeah, and we will break up now. We'll break now. We'll have a break. Do you want it, Fox, for 5 or 10 minutes? So we can continue for another hour. Let's have it, okay, for 10 minutes. So we will come back here at 8 p.m. starting from now. Don't leave I have to highlight this. Don't leave the Zoom. Stay in the Zoom. Okay, just if you want to turn off your camera, you can turn it off, but don't leave the Zoom. Don't leave the app. Okay, stay here and have a break. Okay. Okay, see you at 8 p.m.
Thank you, Gadir.
Gadir, I think you're on mute. I think you might be on mute. I can't hear you anyways. And I checked my settings.
Yes. Do you hear me now? Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I was talking to myself because the Bluetooth, the headphones, the mic may be disconnected. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So we have Noam back, Christina back, Westwine back, Hanan back, Shamima back, and the rest they ran away, I think. I hope they will come back. Okay, Leila's here. Nice. Okay, let's start. You said that you want to read Shamima, another piece for the open mic, I think.
Yeah, I don't have to. I think because we're already an hour in, maybe we should let the other readers participate, but thank you.
Okay, maybe Hanan would like to. Kautar is here. I don't know who else would like to share. Do you want to share, Hanan?
Yeah, but I wanted to give space to our contributors to share first.
Wendy is with us, writer. Wendy.
Here, who else?
Christina, can you put the hand down, please?
Maybe should we do like a like get a list and you put people on deck so we know, like maybe.
Okay.
Get a
I
list.
would like people to share whenever they are ready. Shireen, she said that she wants to read.
Using is Arabic and everything.
Shireen, do you want to read?
Linda, it's all different languages.
I think was somebody had their hand up. Was it Christina?
Right, I see. She's not a writer in the book, so.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought the raise hand feature automatically went down when I spoke, so I didn't know you had to take it away on your own. I'm slowly learning how to use that. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Ghadir, maybe no. I was just thinking like.
I have a list already. I don't want to call names. I want them to share whenever they are ready. I have Reem.
How many more people to go do you have?
Shamima is done. Saba is done. I have Sarah, me, Shireen, Reem. Reem, she said that someone will replace her because she has a circumstance. Gail, I don't know if Gail is here. So Shireen, if you would like to share.
Oh.
And Sarah, I don't know who's Sarah here. Wendy, are you Sarah? Wendy, okay, maybe no.
No, because I'm just. We have an hour left to make sure everybody gets to share. So I'll share after everyone who's on your list has shared. I don't want to take their spot.
Okay, Shireen, can you share?
Sure can. Okay. Your questions really quickly. Just I think I wrote my first poem at 5. Why do I write? Well, I'm Shireen Hussain. I was born in India, raised in England, moved to San Francisco, and then came to settle to Chicago. And let's see, I write because I think it is a way to change the world. And it's my favorite way to change the world. There's many ways to do it, but there we go.
And when did you start to write?
Well, I wrote my first poem at 5. It was called Jack Frost, but I can read it at open mic night if you want.
Okay, you can. Okay, whatever you will share in the book, can you tell us?
So I was trying to get it within your time limit. So this is my abridged version of the story that's in the book. It's on page 130. So I hope it's not too long, but I did try to shorten it. Okay.
You can share it also on the screen if you have it.
I changed it a little bit, so I shortened it.
You cannot share it?
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay.
So it's called Lunch Hour, and it's a true story. So, my journey to America began 30 years ago on a British Airways flight, where I was to join my husband. I was fresh out of college armed with a spirit of optimism for my new American life and a notebook of handwritten recipes for Hyderabadi cuisine. Phone calls home to England were weekly misty-eyed sessions. Checking the mailbox for letters, an hourly obsession. But my husband was a good, kind soul, and I began to wish we could spend more time together. He worked long hours in a skyscraper about a block away from Market Street in San Francisco, home to stores showcasing designer clothes draped on moody mannequins. Tucked in between these was one of the last remaining Woolworths in the state of California. One day, I thought I would surprise my new mate by taking him out to a restaurant near his office. The number 21 bus went from Hayes Street all the way downtown. I put on a magenta, frilly English dress, called him from a payphone, laughing at my own excitement. But he could not meet me for lunch. He apologized, told me to grab a bite and explore the city. I was crestfallen, thought he was just being distant, unable to let go of his bachelorhood. Years later, I found out that in America, US companies don't actually have such a thing as a lunch hour. It's just like an unceremonial 20-minute sandwich in a cubicle. So meanwhile, the walls of the payphone booth seemed to be closing in on me like a scene from a Stephen King novel. San Francisco had the ocean and eternal sunshine, but I had left behind my precious family and beloved England. I was friendless and in a textbook arranged marriage. I leaned against the Nordstrom pillars, knew I should just take the number 21 home, do some dusting and make some lamb korma or something. I wandered around inquiring where the bus stop was, but people were either too busy or didn't understand my accent. Then I spied a sign, Woolworth and Company. I gasped. There had been an F.W. Woolworth in Plumstead High Street where I grew up. So many memories. I used to tag along with my mother for some mundane purchase, hoping for a bar of Cadbury's, or it would have been a meeting point for shopping trips with my two best friends, Sandra Durrant and Carol Smythe. They were giddy, giggly outings, stretching out our weekly £1.50 allowance. That settled it. I entered the seedy yet thriving establishment and saw a small lunch counter. Their sandwiches were within reach of me, the fiscally cautious new bride and child of immigrants. I ordered tuna and asked for takeaway. This is where the problem began. You want what, honey? Takeaway, I responded. You want to take what away? Replied the puzzled sandwich server. I want to take the food away from here and eat it somewhere else, came my information-packed response. Oh, I get it, she said. You want it to go. To go, of course, that's how I wanted it. I had to repeat the phrase over and over to myself, like a new surah. That marked the beginning of a 20-year stint trying to be understood in my adopted country. Nappies would become diapers, petrol was gas, schedule was schedule. There was no greengrocer, just a large store where one bought produce. Pancakes were not wafer-thin crepe with powdered sugar. They were thick, round creations bearing maple syrup. I couldn't find a single sitcom even mildly amusing for about 15 years when I slowly began to understand the humor and started spelling it without a U. After that, I finally let go of the view that I was better than everybody else around me. Outside, there was a small square where old men played chess and young buskers collected pennies by singing Beatles songs. Tourists lined up to catch a cable car for a day of sightseeing. I could become invisible here. I found a spot next to a person in dusty pants who requested some spare change. I obliged, gave him a piece of my tuna sub, and he melted away into the crowd. There are places I remember all my life, sang the spirited musician, and a tear fell into my sandwich, creating a small damp patch on the bread. Just then, I heard a loud clanging sound. A cable car driver looked straight at me, adjusting his cap. You need to get on board. Go look at the ocean, he said. His knowledge was not limited to timetables and cable tracks. I needed to turn the loneliness into freedom, a new city, a new life. I could get a graduate degree, read all the books on my endless lists, become a domestic goddess, or did I really just want to be the full-time wife, pining at home, in a tiny apartment for the husband who worked 10-hour days? I spied someone running towards me. I'd been warned about muggings by my husband, whose exact words had been, "You're not in safe old Plumstead Common anymore." I zipped up my handbag, pulled it close to me, and looked up. It was my spouse. "Sorry for not being able to have lunch with you," he said. "I felt so terrible. I took the rest of the day off. It's just that we only get half an hour, and anyway, where do you want to eat?" "There's a lovely French bakery I've been wanting to take you to, next to that awful Woolworths place." Had he really taken the day off from me? This was America, where you were only allocated a meager 10 whole vacation days a year. "Oh," I said, taking his hand. "Woolworths, it's not that bad." The end.
Wow. So magnificent. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shireen. And do you want feedback from others?
I would love some feedback if we have time.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Couple of feedbacks, supportive, encouraging feedbacks, please.
Or anything.
Anyone can jump and say any, like if they like it, if they want to say something.
I love how the story is told with just everyday mundane activities of life.
Yeah.
It really carries the story, and it's a beautiful story.
Thank
you know, just having lunch, you know, and eating a sandwich. It was very beautifully told, and you know, who would have known Monday activities could be so touching.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like her performance more with the storytelling. Yeah.
I took a storytelling class once. I was a teacher in.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
No, it was amazing. It was an African storyteller. Yeah.
Okay, and you have a lot of lovely comments there in the chat. Leila is raising her hand. Yeah, you can say something, Leila.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll just unmute I've unmuted myself. Hi, I'm Leila. I'm also new to the group. Was invited by Gadia as well. Just wanted to say that I really enjoyed Shireen's story. I felt like I was with you the entire time, like as you were going through the different, you know, we could relate to some of these things, you know, that we go through life, and like the encounters that we come across and what it does to us. And I really appreciated it. And thank you so much. It was really, really well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Leila. Okay, and you have lovely comments there also on the check the chat. We would like to welcome Danielle. He's a newcomer here. And who else came? Newly Saparno, Audrey also, she came newly. Okay, let's go for someone else who would like to share from the book. Anyone would like? There were Sarah, I don't know if she's available. There is also Wendy. Wendy, is she a writer in the book? I don't know. Is she? Yes, okay, but she's turning her camera off. Maybe she's not there. Okay, Kautar, she would like to share something. She would like to share in the open mic for the Women's History Month. Please take the mic, Kautar. Kautar. Yeah, your name? Am I saying your name?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay. Okay. You wanted to read in the open mic, isn't it? About
yes, but it's not
history.
from the book.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Because we have also open micers, yeah.
Okay.
You can read about the Women's History Month or anything you like.
Okay, thank you. So has everyone gone, or should I wait until the end?
It's fine. I think no one is the writers in the book. They disappeared. So maybe they will come later. So let's enjoy your poem or your whatever you wrote.
Okay, so this poem is called Mother. Mother, The word is a love poem from Allah. I am asked where are my parents by my teacher. When she sees a strong woman in her doorway, I point to my mother, tell her that there are two parents on her shoulders, weighing her down into the depths of soil where seeds burst out of her as she waters her roses, her lips made with an envelope red lipstick, sealing her from an invitation. She was made with veins and hands that were embroidered from flowers on my great-grandmother's veil when she was married at 11, veins bulging out of her eye bags that filled the same suitcases my grandmother took when she was told an older man would make her a woman at 15, when a woman is a creator, an inventor, an engineer of the same mouth you use to flick your tongue at the thought of her. She brushes her hair and asks me whether it should be brown or black. I tell her to remove the shell of societal norms targeted to women. I tell her to scream her age at the top of a mountain. I tell her that silver gray is the color of a dragon's tail, one that kept flying even after being told its scales could damage if they were used. And when they call you a crazy woman, show them a crazy woman. Show them that the universe made you like bitter soup, vegetables afloat and glistening in the same oils you put in their hair. Show them that if they don't learn patience and if they don't see beauty when it turns a doorknob, that vegetables will start soaking, that you will no longer be what their lips crave. Mother, I see the lines on your palms. They tell me about a story happening behind you, how those lines are the same as bent branches of a tree you planted and harvested. When they tell you to go back home and leave you stumbling at the airport because of a hijab you wear on your head, remind them that the creases in your silk are train stations flying up to Allah. You tell them that your ankles are swollen and crushed red because of this country that you helped build, of this nation that was made and piggybacked on bodies like yours. Remind them that they have a mother waiting in a chilly cabin close to a frozen window, waiting but knowing that love starts with the word mother.
Wow, what a lovely poem about mother and her fights and her struggles and her challenges that she's facing. She's brave, and you should be proud about your mother. Yeah, I really liked it, and I liked your performance a lot. Yeah, the rapping or the spoken word. Yeah, thank you so much. Who would like to comment, supportive, encouraging comment to or feedback to Kautar? If you like, do you want a feedback? Yes.
Yes,
okay.
please. Any criticism, even if it's negative.
Okay, she's open for negatives. Whoever would like, you can just jump and speak. Okay, they wrote nice things in the chat. You can check them out.
I loved it, Kautar, and I loved the way you performed it as well.
Thank you so much.
I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Just the rhythm of it, it was just so inviting and appealing. And the words were so rich with meaning and beauty. I love the piece.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Actually, it's been a while since I've been doing open mic, so I was a little bit nervous, but yeah, thank you for the comment.
Yeah, thank you for
I
sharing.
loved it too, very much. It made me think of my mom, you know, and the ways in which, you know, how important your mom is and how there was so much there that so little time to articulate. It was so well done and so well stated, but it made me really think about my mom as you were speaking. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Layla.
Thank you,
A
Layla.
lot of wisdom in your poem. And I thought the final line was with love was absolutely stunning. It was just a wise, beautiful poem. And I think it carried all of us, just the way you performed it, the rhythm. Of course, we can tell you have a lot of skill in spoken word performing, and it just came through. And for me, it just carried me along completely.
Thank you. I actually am not a performer, but I just like watching YouTube videos and practicing.
Yeah, Thank you so much. I think it's your first time in Kahwa Art Cafe. I would like you to come again and again in our monthly performance.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. And you can also share in other languages. If you have another mother language, you can share with it and translate in English or give a summary. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kautar. And who would like to go next from the writers? Who are the writers? Calling for the writers. Who are the writers? Wendy. I saw Wendy. She's coming. She's going. Okay. Wendy, I think she's a mother. I saw your baby. So that poem suited you a lot because we were looking for you. And then Kautar, she said the mother, and you came with the baby. SubhanAllah. It's very beautiful. Yeah. If you want to share, Wendy.
Yes, I apologize for that. I have a newborn, so taking care of him while I'm here. So to start off, my name is Wendy Diaz. I live in Maryland, in near Baltimore, and I started writing ever since I was in elementary school. What prompted me to write was I'm originally from Puerto Rico. My father is in the military, or was in the military. So we moved around quite a bit. And my father was actually sent off to the Gulf War, the Persian Gulf War. And during that time, I used writing, especially poetry, as a way to deal with my emotional, just kind of a distress that I had having my father away in a war. And really just kind of with my friend, just putting down our feelings on paper. And my 5th grade teacher allowed us to perform the poetry that we wrote in front of our class. And that really helped me to find myself, my artistic self, especially. And I have 2 poems that are in the book. I'm really honored to have them published here. I want to share with you the one called Ahmed and the Clock, and it's on page 203. And unfortunately, I don't have it on the screen to share.
I just want to ask you, did you say where are you from?
I'm originally from Puerto Rico, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland, or near Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, okay.
So the this poem is a little long, but I think we can we'll make it through. I think so.
How many pages is it?
It is 3 pages.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Okay. All right. So to give you a little bit of background about this poem, it's called Ahmed and the Clock. If you all remember back in 2015, in September 2015, there was a case with a young boy in Texas that was arrested at his high school because he came to school with a clock that he built on his own in his home. And when he showed the clock to his teachers thought it was a bomb and they called the police. As a mother, that case really just infuriated me. It made me very sad. And my heart went out to this boy and his family for everything that they had to go through. The story had a happy ending, it seems, but it really kind of prompted me to just write about what happened. And I even tried to reach out to the family, and I never was able to speak with them. But I hope that maybe one day they'll be able to read this poem that's actually dedicated to Ahmed Muhammad. And so here goes. There was a young boy, so witty and smart. His name was Ahmed, and he had a very big heart. With skin caramel brown, he wore bright colored glasses. He was known to be smart and pass all of his classes. He loved all his subjects, especially science. He looked up to his teachers for providing him guidance. He had plans for inventing something useful one day. He gathered tools and gadgets and kept dreaming away. One night, while working with circuits and wires, building with his hands what his imagination inspired, from pieces of scrap, he put together a clock. He listened intently and heard tick-tock, tick-tock. Awesome, he thought, so proud of himself. I'll show my teachers what I've built all by myself. It was getting late. I should go to bed, he thought. So he drifted to sleep to the sound of his clock. The following day, as he hurried to school, he put his clock in a box where he kept all his tools. Eagerly, he rushed to his engineering class. I can show my invention to my teacher at last. But when Ahmed began, his teacher raised a brow. It's a clock, he explained, and it works. I'll show you how. The teacher interrupted and didn't seem pleased. Keep it in your bag where no one can see. Ahmed was confused, but he did as he was told. He continued the day with his clock in tow. In English class, as the teacher taught, everything was quiet except for a tick-tock, tick-tock. What is that noise? She asked, annoyed. It's just my clock, responded the young boy. Would you like to see it? I made it last night. As he opened his bag, his teacher's eyes opened wide. That looks like a bomb, she cried out loud. Ahmed understood his engineering teacher now, but sadly by then it was much too late. The teacher told the principal what Ahmed had made. I think we should call the police, they discussed, and before long, Ahmed found himself handcuffed. The police officers asked him, what is in this box? Ahmed answered, trembling, it's just a clock. Ahmed was scared. He could say nothing else. I just wanted to impress my teachers, he thought to himself. I couldn't hurt a fly. Why would they be suspicious? He was hurt and saddened by the principal's actions. But this was the world in which Ahmed was living, where people had learned to not be forgiving. They were fearful of things that they did not understand, like other races, beliefs, and religions, like Islam. Ahmed and his family were of the Muslim faith, and despite being American, they faced racism and hate. To some other people, all Muslims were suspicious. They accused them of things that were often fictitious. So what Ahmed had thought was a cool invention seemed to staff at his school like a possible weapon. News of Ahmed's arrest spread far and wide. Before long, many spoke out on his side. Hashtag I stand with Ahmed, their slogan became. Soon Ahmed Mohammed was a household name. Businessmen, celebrities, even the president spoke, reminding the world that there is still hope. Ahmed was released, cleared of false accusations, but not before his face was on every news station. At his home, the press waited to hear him talk about the ordeal with his famous clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Since then, he left school and made new plans. He has a bright future and gained plenty of fans. But the greatest lesson from this experience is to never judge based on beliefs or appearance. No one should have to feel ashamed of who they are, and all children should be allowed to reach for the stars. Young Ahmed is just one of many like him, full of hopes and aspirations, dreams and ambitions. So we say, go on, young Ahmed, and never fear. Those who will stand for you will always be near. Keep striving and dreaming, as all children should, for the reward for good is nothing but good.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. It's heavy and a lot to digest. Yeah, not to criticize according to the appearance and whatever background. We are all humans and we should embrace it and embrace each other and not to judge. Yeah, it's a message for not to judge. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Wendy. Who would like to give, if you want, a feedback? You want it?
Sure.
Okay, who would like to give a feedback for Wendy, her poem, and yeah, please make it supportive and encouragement.
I put some love in the chat for her. I sent her a message in the chat.
Thank you.
I have some feedback.
Yes.
So I really loved what you said, like your poem and everything, and I thought it was really beautifully written and stuff within the rhyme. As just a suggestion is maybe just take it a little slower so that we can hear the way, like the words that you use are really beautiful, and I wanted to hear it like a little more slowly. That's my feedback, but it was really beautiful.
Probably the nerves made me go too fast.
Oh, I think because it's long and she's paying attention to the time, that's why it's 3 pages. Yeah. I didn't ask you if you can share it in the screen. I don't know. Buy the book, Kautar, and you will see the book. Yeah, buy the book, Kautar. I think the links, I don't know from where you knew about this poetry night, but in the meetup event in the Facebook, I put all the links about how to buy, yeah, this book. Yeah, you will enjoy. It's 300 pages, and I think it's $20 only. This it's 300. See, it's very thick. 3 editors in this book for this book. They did a lot of work, and I don't know how many writers. Kitty, if you can tell us how many writers are there, I didn't count them.
I think it's 36 contributors.
Wow, men, women, young, old, from all ethnicities. Oh my God, it's really amazing. Okay, and any other feedback?
I just wanted to say something about Wendy's poem. Wendy, I kind of wrote an essay in the chat. Maybe you can scroll back and read it, but I got obsessed with this news story. And there were so many angles to it. So many, I mean, it's a young boy who loves science, doing something really brilliant and scientific and having to go through this super traumatic experience. And I just love that you highlighted that it became kind of a feel-good story, and you reminded us because of the happy ending, and it was a really brilliant happy ending in the end, and just the graciousness of the boy himself. I mean, I can't imagine, he was so young and he reacted in such a incredible way. But I love that you highlighted the importance, the injustice, and then the really critical message we all have to remember. So I love the kind of angle of your poem, the reflection of your poem, and you use rhyme and rhythm in such a beautiful, the news story. Please, I think you should Google it. It's a really important story for all of us, actually, whether we're parents or whether we're, partition system and living in North America. And it's just interesting to see the reactions, which Wendy mentioned. Anyway, I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shamima. Okay. Thank you also, Wendy. It was really touching, and there is a hope at the end. Yeah, there is a hope for those children. Thank you so much. Who would like to share? Writers, call for writers. Where are the writers? Sarah, where is Sarah? She didn't come.
Was there someone who wanted to share with Reem or something? Did they leave?
Yeah, Noura. Where is Noura? She commented in the chat that she's her cousin.
Yeah,
she left.
Gone, maybe. Do you want me to read something?
Yes. Yeah. If you like.
Yeah, I can. So
no pressure. I will be the last, but not the least.
Yeah. So I have to answer your questions. They're all the way up now. Where are your questions, Gadir? So my name.
I will ask you. I will make interview with you. What's your name?
Interview me.
Stop it. Okay.
So
what's your name?
My name is Hanan.
Where are you from?
Where was I from? I'm Lebanese Canadian.
Okay, and where do you live?
Toronto, Canada.
Yeah. And when did you start writing?
I think when I was really young, I don't really remember. All I know is I always was storytelling, like oral stories, and then I started writing them down on paper at some point, but it was when I was really young. I don't remember.
Okay, and what inspires you to write?
Nature, people.
Interesting. Okay, so what do you like to read? Where is it in the book? And if you can share it in the screen.
I'm going to read 2 things. So one is my poem that's in the book, which is in the introduction. So it's not in the book proper. It's part of my introduction. And then I will read. There's a sister poem to this poem. It's not in the book, but I'll share that too because it also fits into International Women's Day. So this poem that's in the book. It's on page 9. And it's called Introduction to Poetry by a Maslama poet. And I don't want to use the word parody, but it uses the format of Introduction to Poetry by Billy Collins. So if you've ever read the poem, this is kind of a parody of his poem. And this poem is inspired by my frustrations, specifically with CanLit, Canadian literature. They kind of have this expectation of, if you're Muslim or if you're a person of color, that your poetry has to be about trauma. It has to be about Islamophobia. It has to be about racism. It can never be just about being human. It has to have this like flavor of tragedy and trauma and oppression and all these things. And I just got so tired of that. So I wrote this poem, and it was born out of that frustration. So I'm just going to read it. Introduction to Poetry by a Muslim Poet. I asked them to take my poem and slowly unfurl its intricate layers like a blooming tea flower, or press an ear against its pulsing heart. I say, deep dive into my poem and explore its shadowy crevices, or shine a light on the poem's surface and watch as its iridescent metaphors dance. I want them to take an evening stroll with my poem and invite it to Sunday brunch with their mothers. I want them to cradle my poem in their arms and sing it to sleep under the moonlight. I want them to bring my poem to their lips and savor its diverse, delectable flavors. But all they want to do is tie my poem to a chair with rope and smother it in exotic spices, curry, saffron, turmeric. They want to slather it in hummus, make it taste more Muslim. They begin stabbing my poem with pitchforks to find out where it's really from. That's the poem. And then I have a sort of companion poem to this poem that I'm going to read. Let me get it out. Okay, so this one is called My Mother's Womb. This poem, it's called My Mother's Womb. So I read it. You have to be strong, my mama told me. The world.
Which page? Sorry, page.
It's not in the anthology.
Oh, it's in the open mic. Okay, fine.
Like, it's sort of it you'll see. Like, it kind of answers the question from that last poem. So, My Mother's Womb. You have to be strong, my mama told me. The world is not like a mother's rahim. It does not show rahmah to anyone. And she was right. The world has not shown me any mercy. I am too Eastern for the West, too Western for the East, a prude, a slut, oppressed, liberated, exotic, foreign, oriental, whitewashed, conservative, radical, an outcast, an outcast. Where are you from? Canada. No, where are you really from? My mother's womb. And that's it. That's the poem. So you can see how it ties back.
So lovely. I like that. Yeah, so lovely. I like that. I like both of them. They are touchy, and really, I relate to it. I relate, and I think most of us here relate to it as immigrant. Like, I mean, we don't know. Like, we have different identities, but
Yeah.
the real identity is your mother womb.
It like ties into your poem, Lidir, the identity.
Yeah, the identity. Thank you so much for sharing.
Am I Lebanese or am I Canadian or am I don't know. I don't fit in anywhere. That's kind of where this is.
Yeah, the confusion.
Feeling of not fitting in, and where's home for me. And I decided it's my mother. My mother's my home.
Do you want feedback from the audience?
Yeah, I don't know if there's time, because I want you to read your poem. So
still we have 3 hours, don't worry. I mean, there's 1 hour and a half now. We passed, okay, one hour, 20 minutes we still have. Leila, she wants to give a feedback. Leila?
Yes, Hanan, that was absolutely beautiful. Especially the part when you said, you know, that your mother's womb is really like where it's safe and everything, and that when you leave your mother's womb, you really have to face the realities of the world. And so I really resonated with that. So thank you so much for sharing.
thank you. I forgot to do like a translation. So Rahim is womb in Arabic, and Rahma is mercy in Arabic. And the difference between the two words is the A. So Rahim and then Rahma with the A. So they're almost the same word. I should have said that. Yeah, so this poem, I have it published in a chapbook, like a self-published chapbook. But I do have other publications. So if you want, you can go to my website or Instagram. I'll just put it in here in the chat if you want to follow me.
We have someone entered by the name of American Palestinians Association.
Oh.
Yeah. I wondered who's this. There's an association coming.
Yeah, and it's also published in an online anthology as well. So I don't really have the link up right now, but I could try to find it and maybe.
So we can find it on your website in the chat.
Yeah, I think it's on my website. I think so. I'll put it in a chat. I'll go look for it and put it.
Okay, sure. So Hanan website is there in the chat and also her Instagram. Okay, and we would like to welcome the newcomer, American Palestinian Women's Association.
Sorry,
we encourage everybody to turn on their cameras to create a better safe space and interaction, social networking. Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome.
Sorry, I'm late. Really late. I was watching my son's son move.
It's okay. We are happy that you are here. Okay, and we are still going on until 10 p.m. We had some people like writers read. I think all of them who are here, they read. Anyone wants to read before I read and end the reading of the book, and then we will go for the open mic? Okay, seems I'm the only one who left here. Okay. Let's go with my poem. It is on which page? 154, I think. My poem, my baby. Yeah, 154, I think. No, what is it? Al-Huwiyya, the identity. It's on page 164. Al-Huwiyya, the identity. It's on page 164. Sorry, I cannot share it here. I will read it. It's better for me to read it from my portfolio book. It has bigger font. I'm not that old. Don't think I'm old. Okay. Okay. Al-Huwiyya. Al-Huwiyya, the identity. I am from a Mubaraka holy tree. Oh, sorry, I have to mention at the beginning that this poem has, it's in English, but it has some words in Arabic, which The translation of it will be following every word I'm saying it in Arabic. The following word will be the translation. And why I'm doing that? Because I'm giving more privilege to my mother language, the Arabic language. الهوية, the identity. I am from a Mubaraka, holy tree. Zaytuna, olive tree, not in the east, not in the west. Zayt, za'atar, dugga, olive oil, thyme, and dukka. Kum, vineyards of grapes climbing on old walls, and bayarat, farms of lemons and oranges. Baladi, my homeland's weather is pleasant, and Baharha, its sea, is clear. I am from the Arabian Gulf. Nakhla, palm, stable roots, branches in the sky. Sahara, wajimal, desert and camels. Humidity and hot sun. Qahwa, watamar, coffee and dates. Oil and towers. I am from Al-Qayqab, the maple tree, and maple syrup. My leaves are changing colors, red, yellow, orange, as hawiyati, my identity, changes. My leaves fall in autumn as my age falls away from Al-Watan, the homeland. موطني موطني. My homeland, my homeland. Thank you. This is my sharing of the book, and I will have a couple of poems. Unfortunately I forgot to share them in the book. If I knew the book is that big, I will give you more. I didn't know. Anyway, maybe in the newer versions.
Thank you, dear. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
We're gonna ask for feedback.
For this one, okay, then I will continue. If anyone would give me supportive, encouraging feedback.
So well, you already know my feedback. I gave it to you before, but I really love, because I know how beautiful your poetry is in Arabic. So I really love that you've been able to put it together with the English. Because I know I love your Arabic poetry. You already know that, but I love how you're able to combine the two.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hanan. Yeah, Hanan attended. She's a friend, and she attended to me my feature in Shab al-Sha'r. Anyone is familiar with Shab al-Sha'r? It's a poetry series. It's also multicultural, inclusive here in Toronto, and multilingual. Done by or hosted and organized by Banu Zan. She's a very famous and popular poet, Persian poet in Toronto. For 8 years, she's running this poetry night. Shamima, yes, go ahead.
Dear, I loved it, of course. And I love the idea of your monthly readings. I think when I was younger, I was ignorant of the colonial systems that I'm under, right? My birth country was colonized by the British, like we're on colonial territory. And, my parents did the best they could in this system. So they sent me to a British private school. So I became really proud of my English. I became really proud that, I didn't have a fresh off the boat accent. And I don't know, when I was younger, I was maybe a bit embarrassed about my background, like my parents are from Bangladesh. I was born in Bangladesh. When I went to school, it would show up in the textbooks as the poorest country in the world, and everyone would look at me, It's completely changed now that I'm older, hopefully a little bit more mature. And I feel so amazed that you're you know, highlighting your mother tongue and encouraging people to speak in the language of their mothers and their birth, right? And holding that up and raising that. And, you know, it's just a very different perspective. And I feel like you are honoring, you know, something that has been dishonored in the past. So I so appreciate that. That's the whole kind of modus of your group. Like I've joined your Facebook group and stuff, and I see it there, you know, and then to see it in beautiful action in your poem, like it's so inspiring. It's making me think, you know, rethinking my relationship with my mother tongue. And I mean, the concept of mother tongue is so beautiful, right? It's the language of your mother. And we've heard beautiful poems about our mother's wombs being our first home. And so anyway, I just feel very inspired by it and have a very, very different idea of what is good and what is successful now, you know? Anyway.
Thank you so much. I love you. I love you from here to the moon and back. Thank you so much, Shamima. Thank you. You are so, I'm inspired by you, and you are a very energetic person. I like you a lot. Yeah. We should be friends, inshallah. Okay, we have Layla also. Layla?
Yes. Gadia, I have to say that was beautiful. I just love the way you expressed the poem. It was just like so awesome, like just beautiful. And the imagery that you portrayed in the poem was so like I could feel the actual like what you were talking about, and it was just very, very inspiring as well. I just loved it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Layla. Thank you so much for your words and your feedback. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Who else? Hanan, you raised your hand.
Yeah,
Hanan?
I just wanted to say if anybody is interested in learning how to use their mother tongue while writing in English, I teach a poetry workshop, or well, I guess it's creative writing. It's called Reclaiming Our Mother Tongues. And Gadir was in my first version of the workshop, and we ended up publishing a chapbook. And Gadir has really great poetry in it as well, and that's how we met.
What is the name of the chapbook, if you can say it?
Poetry Rerooted.
Yeah.
Decolonizing
decolonizing our tongues. Yes.
So it's the whole concept is to privilege our mother tongues. So whatever your mother tongue may be, and write in conjunction with English. So I'm teaching one that's coming up, but I think it's full. So maybe if you stay in touch with me, I might offer it again in the summertime. Probably going to be on Zoom. So wherever you are in the world. So you can, if anyone, I'm on Facebook. You can add me on there. Follow me on Instagram. If you are interested in that. So I will just want to put that out there.
Or in her website also, you can contact her from her website.
Yeah, and then you could like take my workshop, write poetry, come read it at Hadir's art.
Poetry night.
Kahwa art cafe.
Kahwa means coffee in Arabic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that, but yeah, like you could come read it at her poetry night. And
yeah, you know, but I want others to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, maybe you should tell people about your cafe.
I said it in the beginning, the introduction about my cafe. Yeah, I said that it's open mic, it's multicultural, multilingual, poetry nights. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Hanan. And maybe I will, if we have more time, I will read one poem from that book, Decolonizing Our Tongue.
I just wanted to say that I just loved hearing the poem. The imagery is, I'm just thinking that, you know, we just have a general idea of what countries look like, but hearing the fruits, the trees, you know, it's really important to those very tiny specific details. And definitely it's inspirational for me too. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shireen. Thank you. Unfortunately, Kitty is leaving. Kitty is leaving. Okay, yeah, Kitty. Why you Kitty leaving? Why? Anyway, okay, we enjoyed her that she's listening, and she's one of the editors. And unfortunately, also Valerie, she's not here, but Hanan is here. Okay, who's next? Am I next also again? Okay. Let me go for the two poems which I didn't share, but I wish maybe in the new.
Had their hand up. West Wind.
Someone? West Wind. Okay. Yes. Yes, West Wind.
Yeah, I just wanted to make just give some feedback. I really related to that identity, you know, because you know I'm an Indigenous woman, and so I find there's so many similarities in our in our way of thinking, in our cultures, you know, like connection to land, homeland, you know, that's a big thing for us too, eh? And you know, our experience with colonialism, and so we have universal experiences that we share, and I really believe that connects all of us, you know, around the globe. Those of us, you know, who can, you know, and we can do it through storytelling, you know, and it seems too also storytelling is it's huge for the Muslim nation as well as the indigenous peoples. And so I really appreciate, you know, and I really, it really warms my heart to be able to connect to people outside of my own my comfort zone, or you know, inside my own culture, you know, to go outside and explore other people and how we can connect, you know, because I think that's really what the bottom line is in this world. We come here to connect with each other and share, and storytelling is a very good medium for us to connect that way, you know, to share common.
I love you. I love you. I love you too much. And Westwind is my facilitator in the writing workshop, and I learned a lot from her about the indigenous culture. And really, it's not just learning. I also love them because of the peace they have in their hearts, and how much they love the nature and the earth. And I learned like the values they have of peace and healing and the mindfulness, spirituality. I really like feel flying in the skies. They say I feel like I'm a different also world when I connect with them. Thank you so much for your sharing, Westland.
Yes. Yes, and thank you for inviting me to this event. I'm really, it's really, I'm very uplifted.
I'm just curious, where are you located?
You asking me?
Yeah.
I'm located in Toronto. I know Gadir. She used to come to my writing workshops at one time.
Oh, okay. I'd love to connect with you too, because I'm in Toronto too.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, let's do
that. Really resonated with me. Yeah.
For sure. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
Okay.
No, it's really, really very interesting because both of you are facilitators, and I recommend you also, Hanan, to connect with Westwind. You will learn a lot from her, not only writing, it's culture and it's I don't know, spiritually I connect with her so much. I really love her. That's why I told her I love you.
One of the best poetry nights I've attended. It's so heartfelt and spiritual, and like everybody's amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Indigenous, for the indigenous? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So that's a plan.
I know other poets, indigenous poets, and I bought her a book. I think I told you one. Her name is I forgot her name, but her book is Fireweeds. It's very, and I also gifted to a friend. I really liked it a lot. Yeah, very beautiful book. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody. Yes, and who would like to? Yeah, me again. Bye. Okay, let's go. Okay, me again. Let me read this one. It's about Muslima. Muslima is a Muslim woman. I just want to see how many people are here still. Okay, good. You didn't run away. Okay. I'm just kidding. Please, everybody else, mute your mics. Stay muted because I will be reading my 2 poems, which are not in the book, and about the Muslim American status at home, but unfortunately they are not in the book, maybe in the new version. The first one title is Muslima. Muslima is a Muslim woman. Muslima. I see wine, beer, alcohol, marijuana, and nightclubs everywhere. I'm surrounded by sex, nudity, and public displays of affection. There are plenty of spots for cheaters, but very few mosques for worshippers. There are no prayer rooms at malls or centers. I fast Ramadan while people eat pork. Halal food is inaccessible. Eid is not Eid. I don't hear the call to Eid prayers, only Christmas songs. My family, relatives, and friends are all far away. It's a totally new atmosphere. I'm trying to adapt, yet nostalgia makes me homesick. The second one, hijabi. Hijabi means a Muslim woman who wears head cover and modesty, like she's modest. Hijabi. Do you see me? Do you ask me? Do you know me? Do you know me? Hello, I'm here. I'm not invisible. I'm a human like you. I live, I laugh, I love. Let me connect with you. And no, I don't sleep with my hijab on. My beauty is only for me. Only for those mahram to me. Mahram, a man who has a blood relationship with me in my biological family, like my father, brother, son, and uncle, or marriage relationship who is my husband, father-in-law, and stepfather. Hijab is my protection. It keeps sick men away. Thank you. I don't hear the clap. Because all of you muted. Oh my God. Still, we are not used to this Zoom online thingy. Okay. By the video in Christine, some profiles. Christina. Okay. Oh, Christina, she wrote lovely things here. Okay. Yeah, Christina is also a writer here in Toronto. If you want to connect with her, she's very lovely, Hanan. And also, I invite Westwind to connect with Christina. Almost every day we write with the Toronto Writers Collective, and I like her writings a lot. Yeah. Who would like to share in the open mic? For the yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, I'd like to share in the open mic, but that's not why I unmuted. I unmuted because I invited my friend Audrey. So you let her in after Maghrib, and she's actually a singer-songwriter, and so she messaged me. She might want to perform tonight if you're okay with someone performing a song.
Yes, sure. Mic. I love singing. Yes. What is she? What's her name? Who's she?
Okay, great.
Assalamu alaikum.
Audrey.
Walaikum salam.
Audrey
Sapano.
Yeah, my name's Audrey, and
Audrey.
yeah, Mima invited me, and I was excited to see her recite her poem, but I missed it because I was making supper, praying, got in late. But this was so lovely that I feel like I want to share something too, if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
I usually play guitar, but I'm feeling a little lazy to play guitar right now because I haven't practiced in a while. But this is a song that I wrote recently. I call it sort of my COVID song because, you know, our time in isolation from everybody, you remember the people that you miss, and you remember what you miss most about them. So for me, I miss giving hugs to my friends. Like Shamima, we just stand 2 meters away. We can't, you know, everybody's going through tough times, and it's when you need hugs the most. But alhamdulillah, thank goodness I have my dad to hug, but you know, he's not quite the same sometimes as friends. So I wrote this song, and so I'm from Ottawa, and I was born and raised here, but my parents originally came from Indonesia, and they met here. So my whole life has been here. And I wanted to write music songs from a Muslim woman's perspective, and I've been writing for a while now. And this song is a COVID song, but it's also incorporating some Indonesian language. So there's a proverb in Indonesian language. We say, jauh di mata, dekat di hati. Jauh di mata means far from sight. Dekat di hati means close in heart, close in your heart. So it's like, you know, some people say out of sight, out of mind, or what is it? No, that's not it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, that kind of a thing, but it's sort of an Indonesian version. And so I incorporated that into the song. So I'm just going to sing it, but I'm not going to have my guitar. So we'll see how it goes. It's called Close in My Heart or Dekat di Hati.
Maybe next time your guitar.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Promise?
You promised.
Okay. Okay, here it goes. Pictures on my phone remind me of you. You're more than friends, you're my sisters truly. The table's so cold now, empty chairs across from me. I miss you, I miss you. Far from sight, close in my heart are you. Jauh di mata, dekat di hati. Walking through the snow with the sun in my face, breezes through the trees, this used to be our place. Your breath blew in the wind, I can't see it now. I miss you, I miss you. Far from sight, close in my heart are you. Jauh di mata, dekat di hati. Far from my sight, close in my heart are you. Jauh di mata, dekat di hati, dekat di hati. I'll see you soon.
Wow. Wow. We all moved with this song, isn't it? Oh my God. You're so beautiful. I really loved your voice. And like I get very emotional with your song. Oh, I moved a lot. Yeah. Yeah. When you said in the Indonesian language, is it the Indonesian language is you say, what is the name of the language of the Indonesian? Do you say
It's called Bahasa Indonesia, which means it means literally in Indonesian language. So Indonesia, it's an archipelago of thousands of islands, and actually they all have different languages on these different islands. But when they declared independence from different colonizers, they made an official language, and they called it Bahasa Indonesia. And it's derived from different origins, like the Malay language, Melayu, but it also has Arabic in it, has French in it, like words. So it's a real mishmash of little words from different languages, as well as the Malayu language. So yeah.
So lovely. And when you said in the Bahasa Indonesia, is it correct? Yes, how I said Bahasa Indonesia? The words, what's the meaning of them? I didn't catch it.
So jauh means far. So jauh di mata, far from sight. Dekat hati, dekat means close. Di hati is like in your heart.
Oh, I will cry now.
Oh, that was lovely. Is there anywhere we can follow you, listen to more of your music?
Yeah, well, I'm on Instagram. You just followed me back, Hanan. So So you can look up my name, Audrey Soparno, and I also have a website. I'm on Spotify. I put music on Spotify as well as, yeah, all the streaming things.
It's so, wow, it's like amazing to see a Muslim woman who's a musician. It's not something you see very often, and I thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And how can I follow you? By this name, Soparno?
Soparno, yeah, that's just exactly the name.
Can you put it on the chat?
Yeah,
Sure.
if you just maybe your Spotify in the chat too. We can.
Yeah, it's just I just
Everyone
put, that's the website, but if you just Google my name, you'll find it.
Yeah, anyone who would like us to follow them, please put your information, social media, website, whatever, and we will follow you. Great.
And of course, Audrey's being very humble. So as her self-appointed PR agent, I want to tell you all that you're in the presence of a celebrity. She's performed at like Juno Festival events and folk festival. She's won awards. She's super talented. She's honestly a bit of a Ottawa celebrity at least, and pretty soon to be a Canadian celebrity. And I wish you guys could, inshallah, one day hear her sing live with her guitar. Yeah, of course, you can tell I'm very proud of her.
Wow. Did you participate in any contest? Do you have The Voice in Indonesia? The Voice.
The Voice, they do.
Did you hear about it? Why don't you participate?
I don't think I qualify at this point, but I think it's like, you know, I want Canadian music to incorporate all different backgrounds. So I feel like Canadians, we have Indigenous voices, we have people from Asia, but they're not Asian. You know, they're actually Canadian. So I just feel it's really important for me. I write in French as well, so it's important for me to create my identity.
Can you sing in French? Can you sing in French?
I can sing in French, yes.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but who would like to hear her in French? French is, as they say, it's a sexy language. It's like Arabic, emotional language.
Yeah. And I've written one French song, and it was a song for an immigrant women association in Gatineau, Quebec, which is just across the river, the Ottawa River from Ottawa. And I have to remember how it goes. I'll just sing a little bit because I don't remember the whole thing very well. It's a very old song.
Do you have it written anywhere? You can cheat and see it.
It's somewhere in my stuff. It goes something like this. Elle ne vient pas d'ici. Elle ne vient pas. See, I've forgotten it so long ago. Do people understand French? No. Okay, so it's about a woman who immigrated here from a different country in order to make a better place for her daughter, and she finds connections with other immigrant women and makes a better place for her. And she used to be a doctor, and you know, a lot of these people who immigrate here, they have these wonderful occupations, but they can't bring it here, but they come here anyway to make a better life for their family. Yeah, so elle ne vient pas d'ici. Une vie de médecin. See, I don't remember how it goes. I'm so sorry. I'll have to remember it next time. But it is on, like, if you go to YouTube, I have a YouTube channel as well. So if you look on YouTube, there's a time when I was performing it, that song, and it's called what is it called? Oh my goodness, I forgot what it's called. Anyways, you can look it up. I'm so sorry, I'm not prepared. Oh, you went, I can't hear you again, Khadir.
Yeah, I think you're on mute.
Am I on mute? Is that better?
No, Audrey, we can hear you.
Oh, Khadir's on mute, I think.
Gadir, if this is open mic, could I read a little short story?
Sure, I would love to hear your stories.
Yeah, thank you for the beautiful music. Sorry, some no.
It's on.
Separano?
Yeah, I put the names backwards because I didn't want to appear first in people's lists.
Beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Anyways, I want to like maybe just have, introduce a little bit of an Indigenous experience, into the circle tonight. We like, that's how we see when we get on Zoom or we gather together, because a circle is sacred, and whatever we share in the circle is sacred to us, and we really take it to heart, and we honor and highly respect whatever takes place in that circle. So I thought I'd just read a little short story that I wrote a while ago. And the story is called Gitchi Manitou Doesn't Make Garbage. Gitchi Manitou means our God, our creator. The literal translation is the Great Spirit. And that's how we refer to our creator, right? And we, every day we give thanks, to our creator and to all our ancestors and our spirit helpers, for giving us all the gifts of life. And so we honor every day, when the sun rises. We call the sun our grandfather. And so we use storytelling in a way to honor our lives, even though we've went through a lot of trauma-based history. We still try to make good of all those experiences and to translate that into an spiritual experience. So this is what this little story is about. Gitchi Manitou doesn't make garbage. The familiar clang of an old alarm clock goes off, and then the gravel voice of my stepfather calling me. I wipe the last wisps of dreaming from my eyes, sit upright and give my thoughts time to adjust to the reality of a 10-year-old native girl preparing for chores galore. I slip into my winter boots and coat and wipe a yawn on my sleeve as I trek out to the shed, snow crunching beneath my feet. As I look to the dawning sun, Grandmother Moon is gently slipping behind the rising halo of Grandfather Sun. In that space between night and day, I begin the daily rigor by heaving an axe to split wood. I get a warm fire started in our tiny kitchen, and soon hot porridge invites three younger sleepy siblings to a breakfast table. The old man chain smokes as he sits and waits for his clothes to be pressed with sharp, crisp creases in his hand-washed work pants. His lunchbox is filled with bologna sandwiches and a thermos full of strong tea. After the siblings are fed, washed, dressed, and whisked off to school, the baby is fed and her diaper changed. The toddler learns to play quietly alone, waiting for mom to wake. I take note of the silence of our little sleepy shack along the edge of a wintered wheat field before I dash off out the door, racing the school bell before it announces my late arrival. The teacher continues with her lessons as I slink into my desk at the back corner of the room. Aside from my brothers, I'm the only Native kid in this small prairie town school where Natives and whites don't mix much. I, being the eldest sibling, make solitude my best friend until some magical thing happens one day. It began during art class. Being a lonely, friendless kid, art is a consoling companion. I hear a chair being dragged across the floor. I look up to see a blonde, blue-eyed boy pulling up next to me, too close for comfort. My confused mind is trying to figure out what's wrong with him. Day after day, there he is, this white boy, waiting for me. This new seating arrangement takes some time getting used to. One day I ask him which of my drawings he likes best, the brown native girl with a feather in her hair or the white poofy-haired princess. He points with a smile on his face. And for the first time ever, the heaviness of endless drudgery of chores, daily beatings, cruel tongue lashings, and dark secrets lift from my shoulders. Each day we sit together. I bathe in healing kindness that filters through the barbed wire that barricades my wounded heart. The news comes one day that my stepfather is laid off from his job and we have to move again. Just like the hillbilly Clampets we watch on TV headed for Beverly Hills, we pack up all our belongings in an old clunker and off we embark to the big city. On that trip, I become feverishly ill and weak, not eating for days. When I'm well again, I never think about that blonde, blue-eyed boy again. Well, not until another magical thing happens. A native elder taught me that Kiti Manitou, our creator, doesn't make garbage. These words haunt the corridors of my childhood memory whenever I reflect on my late mother. Just once to hear words of kindness or feel her warm embrace would have been enough. Just once to hear her say, "I love you," would have spared me looking for love in all the wrong places. I offer to help my sister settle our late mother's estate. My internet search leads me to a law firm operating in the small prairie town where I attended grade 5. The name of that blonde, blue-eyed boy, now a seasoned estate lawyer, pops out of the computer screen. My overjoyed heart vividly remembers he was the first to teach me I wasn't made of garbage. That day comes flooding back to me like it happened just yesterday. I'm standing next to our grade 5 teacher, exchanging goodbyes with the class. I glance over where he sits next to my empty seat. His bowed head is turned away from me. I'm so sad I hold back tears. As I close the door behind me, I take one last look inside and see a framed drawing of a little native girl with a feather in her hair hanging above the blackboard. It still makes me cry.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think I heard it before from in the workshops that you facilitate. Yeah. Oh, 2 people are coming. Who are they? Okay, let me see. Lisa and Sequiba Rahman. Okay, we'll admit them. Thank you so much. It's really touching me a lot. The brown girl with feathers in her head or her hair. I loved her a lot. I love her. Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah. Thank you. And my heart goes to her. Yeah. And I saw beauty in her spirit and her soul. We'll open the floor if you want feedback from others.
Sure.
Supportive and encouraging, please. Yeah. Who would like to give feedback?
No, Westwind, I thought the story was beautiful just by the contrasts you constantly made with the different personalities and the environment, and you just the contrasts really bring the story out a lot. And then the development you left, you know, whenever there's like a punchline at the end, that was a great way to end it as well. I thought, you know, you had us all till the very end, and then you had that final sentence, which really lovely story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who would like also to share? I mean, to give feedback. You have also beautiful feedbacks in the chat. For you also, our singer, where is our singer? Saparano. Also, you have beautiful feedback in the chat.
I see.
Me also, I have, yeah. For you and for Saparano. Yeah. Who would like to give feedback? You can just jump and speak.
Westwind, I really love these stories where you're taken into that time. You know, it's a time in the past, and it's so well visualized by the imagery and the barbed wire. You know, you just kept putting images, and it's through imagery that you feel the story more. Like even though we weren't there, we felt that we were there, and it was very, very moving, and I felt so sad at the end that So I moved with you as you cried at the end too. So it was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, in the chat, there are a lot of beautiful and encouraging feedback. Anyone who would like to give a feedback? Let's see who's still there. Okay. Someone is connecting. I don't know who's that. Okay. We have two people came. Squaba Rahman. We encourage people to turn on their cameras for better interaction. Thank you so much, West Wind. Who would like, it's open mic, so whoever would like to share. And yeah, Danielle. Turn on your mic.
Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm really glad to be here. It's so wonderful. I participated in a poetry online thing in Bloomfield, Connecticut. That's where I live. And but the group is nowhere near as diverse as this group. So it's really a breath of fresh air to see people with so many different backgrounds and cultures and countries. It's really a delight. So I'm so glad to be part of this. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Puerto Rican American. My parents are from Puerto Rico. I grew up in an American foster home, a wonderful, loving foster home since I was 3 years old. So that's family I know, but I've always kept tied to my Puerto Rican culture and and just trying to keep that alive in me. I have two wonderful daughters. Their mother is Jamaican. We're divorced now, but so I say a joke. I say my two daughters are Jamaican and Puerto Rican, so I call them Jamaricans. So you can hear them laughing in the background. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I have a couple of very short poems to read. And of course, after I read my poems, any feedback be welcome. But I'm so glad to be part of this group and to meet some very much talented, interesting people. So thank you for welcoming me into your group.
You're welcome. Yeah.
So my first poem, in keeping with who we are as a people and our cultures. I wrote a poem a while ago called in English and Spanish. And when I say it, then that there is a Spanish part. It's part of the poem, actually. So the title is called In Other Words, En Otras Palabras. I call you my brother or mi hermano. I say I love you or te amo. I call you my sister or mi hermana. I say you are beautiful or eres hermosa. In English or Spanish, it's all the same or es lo mismo. We are one people united or somos un pueblo unido. So that's my first poem. I don't know if people want to give me any feedback before I say my second poem. It's also short. Any feedback from anyone that wants to share anything? No?
Anyone would like to give a feedback for the first poem?
Sure.
I always write love in the chat for people. I really like the Spanish combined. It's a gorgeous language that I just want to learn so bad.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Is the thing I grew up as mostly an American foster home, so I didn't really embrace my Puerto Rican culture till I got through my teenage years. I was in high school, and then of course I went to college. But now it's funny because now I work as a social worker, and I speak my clients are mostly Spanish speaking. So it's an interesting turn, but I'm really glad I can help people wherever their language, wherever culture they are. But particularly people who speak Spanish who are in need of someone who can understand where they're coming from, people Spanish speaking. So it's a gift God gave to me. So my second poem is called As One. From out of Africa came a story crafted by God. He created Adam from the dirt and Eve from a rib, and they became as one. In the Garden of Eden, they cared for the animals and tilted the sod. Their skin glistened as they played, loved, and labored under the African sun. Then they left Eden to spread themselves around the earth. They became a pantheon of various colors, cultures, and creeds, each individual displaying a special value and worth, each one reaching one to meet each other's wants and needs. Hearts and souls connected to forge a new identity as a couple, as a family, as a new generation. Yet their long ago country of origin still sparks a deeply felt intensity. A flowing river, a sunlit sky, a moonlit night, the wholeness of perfection. We will someday return to our garden, where everything we made new again, where all the people of various colors will join together to make a new heaven. That's my poem.
Wow, so nice. I like the performing of it. Yeah, so
Thank you.
soothing.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and who would like to give a feedback? You have also feedback in the chat.
I saw them, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Daniel. I love the fact that you put like an educational component in the poetry as well as a spiritual, and then also that your poems are very unifying. I mean, they have a very similar theme, both of them. That you're showing the world that we're all one people, and that message really is a lovely message. I think that we need to hear more of that. Regardless of your language, regardless of your race, regardless of, we're all one people. We all come from the same heritage, the same seeds, the same Adam and Eve. So I thought that this is the kind of poetry that we really need more of to show, especially in this crazy world that we live in, where everyone's kind of siloed off. You're showing the world that we're all one.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Leila, go ahead.
I just want to say thank you so much for sharing. And into just like what my fellow was saying right now, my fellow sister, I call you, that the world we intersect in such a way that language is one of the ways in which we intersect. So I speak Somali, but I learned Spanish in high school. And my sister was making fun of me. She's like, I learned more Spanish from you practicing at home, you know? So it just shows like we're connected in so many ways. Like language connects us in like so many ways, like different cultures and things like that. So I think that's really cool that you shared that. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel blessed to be part of this group, and I have to continue participating because there's so much things I learned, you know, in terms of different backgrounds, people in different cultures and different experiences. So it's wonderful just to hear those experiences and because my experience as well, to understand it better. So thank you for sharing. For each one of you share as well. Thank you.
Thank you both, Samar, I think your name, you put it there in the chat, and Leila, thank you for your feedback. And I would encourage everybody to turn on their cameras again and again. And also, Leila, please, can you put your hand down?
Oh.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, who would like to share on the open mic? And the theme is about Women's History Month. You can share about it or something else you like, anything. Or maybe you can share someone like famous writer who wrote a poem and you can read it and give the credits for that poet. Leila, you said you will share something. Where is it?
Okay, I will share. I will share. Although I'll share. It's from Nordin Farah, who's a Somali a poet and a writer. And it's a little snippet, but it kind of encapsulates what the experience is of a Somali person coming to a country in which a new country, you know, just immigrating to a new country, and like the kind of obstacles that you face when you come to a new country. So this particular piece that it's just a few words. It was part of an academic paper that I had written, and in the paper it was about Somali women and the experiences of Islamophobia and racism and things, just different things that they experience on a regular basis. But also in the piece, in the academic paper, I talk about the resilience also within that, and the ways in which they are capable of coping with it, and how they unite and things like that. But I'll just read it's just a few lines.
In Somali or Swahili or just English?
It's in English.
In English, okay.
But it's he's a Somali writer. So let me just give me a second. So he says, we were like hordes of ants, blind with fear and fleeing ahead of a hurricane. Alas, we had no idea we were fleeing in the direction of the storm, not away from it. So this is just a few lines of what he was stating. So let me just read it again, just so that because I split screened it. So we were like hordes of ants, blind with fear and fleeing ahead of a hurricane. Alas, we had no idea we were fleeing in the direction of the storm and not away from it. So in this was just the beginning of my academic paper, which I had written about just the experience of the Somali woman and the labor market and the things that they face in the labor market, and Islamophobia and all those things within just the different issues that are within the different issues. In it, I feel like he is trying to say that although it's almost, they were fleeing the war at the time, which was in Somalia, and then when we came here, they had to face another type of war, which is just the feelings of Islamophobia, racism, and things like that were part of like what they were experiencing. So I guess that's what it encompasses. But at the same time, a lot of Somali women who are predominantly Muslim, they're 99%, most of the population is 99% Muslim. They use Islam as like a way for them to cope as well. For example, like, you know, when we meet for Eid and when we have, you know, just there's other ways in which, you know, when we perform salas and we, so just those are the things that kind of keep you going and things like that. So they're very resilient. So although they are facing all these obstacles, they still are finding ways to kind of work with the government, work with the people here. And by the way, I'm in Toronto, Canada, by the way, I should have mentioned. So, so they are not just, don't want them to be viewed as just victims. They, at the same time, they are very resilient, and they are working with the system, and they are working to change things. And so there's movements within here as well. So just wanted to share that although this was just a aligned is that although yes, there are these obstacles and things, but they do persevere at the end. So just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Black Life Matter, and in February it was the Black History Month. Thank you for sharing. Are you looking for a feedback? What is, you said a word, alas? What does alas means?
Alas is, I think it's just a way of saying like alas, meaning alas, we like, yeah, it's like we're here kind of thing. Like, alas, we had no idea. Like, it's just like a saying. It doesn't really have too much. Somebody else can help me with that, alas.
Which language is it? Is it English?
English, yeah, English.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Who would like to go? Are you looking for a feedback?
It's like saying,
Yeah, sure.
Oh no. It's like saying, oh no, alas, like.
Yeah, thank you.
It's that kind of.
Thank
very
you. Yeah,
old English writing, right?
Yeah.
Kind of Shakespeare. No one says it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, are you looking for
So
a feedback?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, who would like to give a feedback for Leila?
I just have a question. I used to live in Ottawa. I moved from Ottawa to Toronto here, and I know there's a very significant Somali community in Ottawa.
Yes.
And you know, what you hear in the media was not always positive, you know, and I'm very, I've always been like, I consider myself a critical thinker, you know, and I don't just accept, you know, I just don't, you know, consume media, you know, presentations, you know, about, you know, the different, you know, because Ottawa has a, you know, very multicultural, the same as Toronto. Ottawa is multicultural, and you know, and I always wanted to, I was always very curious, you know, about the Somali, because I always sensed that there was this, this power, warrior power amongst the Somali people, eh? Because that's how we are as indigenous people. You know, we fight for our land, we fight for our sovereignty. You know, and I kind of related to what is that singer's name? I forget his name now. He had a very Kanan. Yes.
Kanan.
I loved his music, and I'm just curious how how he's doing these days.
You know, Kanan is a busy man. he's always producing something somewhere, right? He's always like, but I appreciate what you mentioned about the Somali community, and that, yes, it's true. We come from it's a nomadic community, right? So we were constantly moving. So that requires a lot of strength to be able to come to different areas at all times and be able to adapt. So we're known for trying to adapt to any type of environment, just nomadically. We're always moving around. So that's why there's such a huge diaspora of Somalis all over the world. So in Toronto, there's a huge community here in Toronto. There's a huge community in Sweden, in Australia, everywhere. It just shows you how we are, like, just by nature, we're just very nomadic, and that comes from like what you mentioned. It's like we tend to be we have to be strong to be able to
Yeah.
So I see what you mean about the warrior.
Okay,
mentality.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, both of you. Hear me? You hear me? No? Do you hear me? Okay. Because I don't know, I'm hearing something in the Bluetooth. So you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, both of you, Leila and West.
We lost you.
Do you hear me now?
We got you back.
Great. Thank you so much. And type it in Gadir. No, I want you to hear me. Thank you, both of you, Westwind and Leila. And there are three people who are waiting for the open mic on deck. So let's start with Christina. She wants to share in her open mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of small ones to read. First one is just be you. You do not have to crawl on your hands and knees to get me to listen to you or to see you, to be with you. You have a soft golden heart as big as the sky and as the sun sets and rises. You don't need to act tough in order to be lovable and heard. I see you as you are, enough, as I see and value your humanness. I know, I see and heard. I'm trying to read my own writing. I see a heart underneath needing to be sheltered from the storms of life. You, like me, needing, wanting loved ones, connection by your side. None of us deserves to be left alone for long periods of time to cry. I see your need to be heard as you try to cram in every word when you speak, and as I too know how being rushed feels like. Time not on your side as you endlessly weep. You don't have to be rich to drive a car. You are a natural giver, a born bright star. Come as you are, as long as you remain open and with respect, as I know you are a person I do not want to forget. You don't have to know everything, to offer your time. Like me, you'd like to be yourself with someone to laugh, to unwind. You don't have to come from a loving family to be in my company. All you need is a desire to want to connect, to be seen in your humanity like I do and want. You are fine on your own and with your inner novels of stories like I am. We offer quality time and deep sharing without judgment, without comparing. We are enough as we are now on this road of self-discovery and recovery, wanting to live a life where we have a place to be loved without motive, just because we exist. Existing and being authentic while making time is enough. We are enough, even in the midst of feeling raw and rough, unloved. We are love. I am love. You are loved.
Oh my God.
That's one of
Thank you
mine.
so much. Thank you so much, Christina. You touched me a lot. Thank you. I'm moved by it. You are love, and you are love, and me is love. Me, I am a love, and all of us. This lovely environment. Thank you so much. Are you looking for a feedback?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who would like to give a supportive and encouraging feedback to Christina? Just jump in and give a feedback. Jump in on, I don't know.
It's
something.
the kind of poem everyone, like, you know, everyone, I was putting in my comments, everyone needs to hear those words that, you know, whoever you are, whatever you've done, it's the kind of thing people need to hear. So it just articulates kind of the human, it encompasses every problem, every child, every insecurity. It puts it all in one and says, whatever you are, you're accepted. So I thought the sentiment was beautiful.
Yes, I agree with you, Samar. And if you have more feedback, you can put it please in the chat. And we will move on thank you so much, Christina. And we will move on to Samar to share her open mic, please.
Hi. So I'm a Palestinian American. I was born in Lebanon, and like Ghadir, I feel very much Palestinian, and like Westwind and Layla, very much connected to my roots, even though I've never really lived in Palestine. And I'm writing a book precisely about losing the sense of family that we had, the sense of community we used to have. I don't know if I'm a warrior like Ghadir. I was reading Ghadir's biography, warrior, and but definitely I want to use the words and poetry to feel like a warrior. um, I wrote a poem about my mother, and it has Arabic like Ghadir's poem. So the Arabic is in the beginning, and my mother passed away 6 years ago, and she lived with me for many years. So there's Arabic for those who understand it, but I've translated the Arabic. So the poem is called Ummi Bidunek, Mother Without You. البيت مش حلو بدونك. The house is not nice without you. It sits too silent without the ring of your voice, beckoning each child to come to you. الأكل مش طيب بدون لمسات إيديكي. Food cannot entice when it lacks the touch of your hands. It lacks the spicy reminders of a Palestinian kitchen, and you cook to relive those old days in the old city. ما فيش قهوة بدون السيجارة يا أمي. There's no sense to a coffee without a cigarette, for the cigarette was your only friend, you'd say. Its craving was a sign that you were well again. الزريعة ما حتعيش بدون حبك. The plant won't survive without your love, for you placed it where the sun could stroke its leaves and nourished it till it bore you healthy blossoms. كيف حنتواسم بدون ذوقك? How will we dress without your discerning taste? For you saw beauty that our eyes could not find and dismissed the insecurities that our vanities could not hide. كيف يا أمي? كيف حنعيش بدونك? How, mother? How will we go on without you? You gathered us around like the sun pulls at the moons, held us tight to you when things were not well, and lay next to us when our fears needed quelling. ما فيش حد زيك يا أمي. There's no one who can take your place. You fretted for our safety when we too became mothers. We would always be your children, you'd say. البيت مش حلو بدونك. The house is not nice without you.
Wow, thank you so much. It's touching my heart a lot and it moved me. I don't know if you mentioned that it's for your mom. It's dedicated for your mom, and there is a longing and nostalgia in your piece, in your poem. Thank you so much for sharing. Are you looking for a feedback?
It's up to, yeah, whoever. Yeah, sure. I'd love it.
Okay, there is a feedback in the chat. Yeah, and whoever would like to jump and say something, if you like supportive and encouraging feedback, please.
My mother died a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago, probably close 15 years now, but my foster mother, I consider my mother, and that really touched me because when people, our parents influence us and they shape us, and if we carry wonderful memories of them and we see how they influenced us to be the people we are, that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm just so glad that you had a wonderful mother and that she helped you and that you still miss her, but you also recognize that the impact she had in your life, even though she's gone now. So it's a wonderful, wonderful message.
Thank you for your feedback, Daniel. Okay, thank you for both of you. And let's move to Shamima. She wants to share in the open mic. Shamima, are you there?
I'm here, getting in at the last minute. Hanan isn't here anymore, but I love what she said about, sometimes we're expected to maybe kind of perform our trauma or talk about our pain, and the audience sometimes seems to expect it. But that's just one side of who we are. It's a reality of our experience that we're all navigating. But there's so much joy and there are so many facets to a single story. It's not a monolith, right? So personally, I like writing about everything. I like writing about vegetables in the crisper in the fridge. I don't want to always be writing about what it's like to be Muslim. I prefer to write about what it's like to be a human being. So on that note, here's a poem called Insight. If I was in a zombie apocalypse TV show, I'd be one of the first to die. Or more likely, I think, I'd give in. It would be too scary and too hard, and honestly too hopeless to try to stay alive or to remain human in such desperate circumstances. And yet, when I was near death in real life, not a movie, in fact, only a matter of hours from dying, according to the ER doctors, it was the opposite. I didn't give up. I fought fiercely to survive, to remain here on this earth, to live, and eventually to thrive. Perhaps I underestimate myself and my willingness to battle the demons outside and within. Thank you.
Oh.
And then I know that it's Women's History Month, so I thought I'd write a poem. I'd share a poem that I wrote in honor of an amazing woman here in Ottawa. It's called Legacy. I love the idea of women building towers together for themselves, giant towers that smash the glass ceiling once and for all, so it shatters into bright confetti shimmering to the earth. But let's be honest, towers are flashy. They scrape the sky, dominate the landscape, overpower the city. No, what women often build is scaffolding, ladders, temporary structures you might not notice that support the construction crew. Women do the heavy lifting, and after their work is done, they gently dismantle the scaffolding, put away the ladders, and tidy up. Women know how to let go and quietly move on to the next place that needs to be built or rebuilt, as is often the case in this brutal, painful world, the next place that needs to be repaired, healed, replenished. There's no spotlight, no credit, no applause. There's no recognition for scaffolding. But the truth is, without the scaffolding, there would be no building. You know what I'm saying. Women break their backs doing invisible work, lifting up other women and men and children too, holding people up into the light and air so that they can do what is necessary. But listen, women don't just build scaffolding. They have always built homes and sanctuaries and bridges. After all, resilience is another name for women's strength. Thank you. So this poem, as I mentioned, is dedicated to the brilliant, strong, and resilient Sister Khadija, who very sadly passed away recently. And to us, she's the scaffolding of expressions of Muslim women, our community, and our heart of everything. She was our scaffolding. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really inspiring me a lot, and I feel sorry for your loss of Khadija. You cut off like a little bit. I didn't hear much about Khadija. Okay, are you looking for a feedback?
Did I cut off?
Yeah, a little bit like the.
Sure. I think everyone's tired, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, anyone, you have feedback also in the chat? And inspiring and refreshing from Lionel, and resilience from Westwind, amazing Shamima, from Squeba. Squeba Rahman, we didn't see you, we didn't hear you. If you can, okay, thank you so much. If anyone would like to give a feedback.
Yes, I just really connected. It really resonated with me, the resilience of women and the power you know, the choices that we make in our life and how we can, you know, make something of it. You know, because it's part of my experience as a Anishinaabe Kwe, an Indigenous woman. You know, we are of the earth. That's what I felt. We are from the earth, and that's what makes it so resilient, you know, because we have that energy. So I related to that.
Thank you so much, West Wind. Who would like to give a feedback? Okay. So anyone would like to share at the end? We are almost, I think we are 2 minutes after 10. Anyone would like to share in the open mic for the last minute? Lionel, we didn't hear from you. You are listening only in this poetry night. Okay.
Well, I was listening to the.
But I want to give a shout out.
Yeah, I wanted to I wanted to listen to all the lovely compositions because they were the writers, the original poets who have contributed to the anthology. So I wanted to hear them, and I really was inspired, so refreshed, so uplifted, so challenged. Really, hats off to each and every one of you. You made the evening really very precious. All of you who sang, who narrated stories and snippets of poems, so many thoughts. Wonderful, really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lionel. Lionel is an active participant and a poet, a wonderful poet in my poetry nights. He always come and share, and he has his website in a comment in one of the events, the previous event. He has his website in the comment, so you can follow him there if you would like.
Yeah, don't worry. Next time I'll contribute some of my poems. But we have had a beautiful.
And he's a good performer also. Okay, who would like to share? Any last minute sharing before we end it up?
It's just a
question. I want to give a shout out to you, Gadir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I love the diversity, but I wanted to ask, is this a monthly event or is this a one-time event?
It's a monthly event in Kahwa Art Cafe. I have Kahwa Art Cafe group and Meetup and Facebook. I don't know from where did you know about it? Is it from Facebook or Meetup or Eventbrite?
From the Muslim writers.
Muslim
From the
writers?
Muslim, yeah,
American writers
from
at home.
this.
Okay. Yeah, I have a group called the Kahwa Art Cafe, Kahwa, coffee, Kahwa Art Cafe. It's in Meetup and it's in Facebook. So I host, I announce for my events there, and it's monthly. Tune on, keep an eye on it. Yeah, if you I can put it here. Kahwa Art Cafe, my Meetup group, and also my Facebook group. I can share it with you so you can follow me and stay tuned about the next coming poetry night. I will share it with you here. This is my Kahwa Art Cafe in Meetup. Please join it. I have 4,000. Oh, I share it with Shamima only. Oh my God. Okay, I will share it with everybody. So I have 4,000 poets there. And also in Facebook, I have the same group. Do you hear me? I don't hear people.
Yes.
No one is talking. Oh, you hear me? Okay. I thought I lost you. Okay, share and I copy it. So you can join me in Meetup and Facebook to know about my coming poetry night of Kahwa Art Cafe. Okay, Leila, special shout out. Thank you so much, Gadir. Okay, so let's end it up because it's we are 3 hours here, and it was a long poetry night. Usually it's 2 hours I do it, but now it's 3 hours because we have the launch of this book, the anthology. And I'm so happy that all of you participated and gave feedback, shared. I'm glad that we have that much diversity. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for coming, and keep coming, don't run away. We are here listening to you and sharing with you, and it's a lovely atmosphere, friendly and like a family. Thank you so much. When I am sad, okay. Okay, fine. Okay. So you wanna go? Okay, let's go and say bye-bye. You can follow me in my groups, Kahwa Art Cafe and Meetup and Facebook. Stay tuned for the next poetry nights. Open mic. See you. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks again. See you next time.
See you. Bye. Thank you. Welcome. Christina, Saparano, Samar, Daniel, Bernal. Thank you so much. Bye.